Once upon a time, in the bustling and prosperous village of Roma, there lived two lovers named Abeni and Ade. Abeni and Ade's parents were family friends who lived on the same street, and as a result, their children spent a lot of time playing with each other. Since there was only one primary school in Roma village, Abeni and Ade attended the same school and grew up together. As children, Abeni and Ade's parents used to tease them and would playfully call them husband and wife because the children were always spending time together, not knowing that Abeni and Ade would ultimately fall in love with each other. When Abeni and Ade were teenagers, they started dating secretly without their parents' knowledge. No one knew or suspected they were dating because they were already very close. In Roma village, after women completed their secondary school education, they would either learn a trade or get married right away. But the men had the privilege of furthering their education or traveling to the city for greener pastures. "My love, I have good news for you," Ade told Abeni one evening while they were spending time together at their usual tree spot. "What is it?" Abeni asked excitedly. "I have gotten admission to the state university and my father said I will be leaving soon," Ade said. "Ah, really? So my lover will also be amongst the educated men in this village." Hey! Abeni said as she danced excitedly. "Yes, I am very happy. Once I graduate from the university and I get a good job, I will spoil you silly in this village. In fact, no one will recognize you by the time I'm done spoiling you," Ade bragged. "Oh, I can't wait, my love. I can't wait to brag to my friends once you return home," Abeni said. "But you promised me that you will return for me, right?" Abeni added. "Yes, I promise, my love. You are the only one my heart has known, and I do not want to know any other," Ade said as he locked his eyes with Abeni's eyes. "That's what all the men say. Then when they go to the city and see finer girls, they abandon the ones in the village," Abeni said in a teary voice. "No, Abeni. I swear on my late mother's grave that I will never leave you. I am not like the other men who do not have self-control. Once I travel to the city, I promise that I will write you every week," Ade said. "Are you sure? If you are not sure, then you do not have to go. You can take over your father's farm or learn how to make ashoke or adire," Abeni said. "No, Abeni. You know that I have wanted to go to the university since I was a boy. And now that dream is finally coming true, please do not tell me to stay back in Roma," Ade said. "No, my love. I cannot tell you to stay back in Roma. You know I would never do that," Abeni said. "You too, Abeni. Promise me you will not follow Shegun the hunter. I know he has been bothering you for a while now. Please, my love, do not let my absence drive you to his arms," Ade said. "God forbid! You know I would never have anything to do with Shegun, not while I'm alive and not while I'm dead. My heart belongs to you alone, and I will wait for you no matter how long it takes," Abeni said. "Are you sure? I do not want to hear that your father has handed you to someone else, so if that happens, I will kill myself," Ade said. "You know what? So your mind can be at rest, let us take a blood oath that will bind us forever," Abeni suggested. "No, Abeni. You already know the implications of taking a blood oath. What if something happens to any of us?" Ade said. "Do not worry. Nothing will happen to any of us. We will get married and grow old together. This is just to assure you and me that we will not break our promises. Please, my love, let's do it," Abeni begged Ade. "Okay, let's do it. But we need something sharp to cut ourselves," Ade said. "Do not worry. I carry a blade around, Abeni said as she searched inside her bag for the blade. Luckily for them, she found it. Without wasting time, Abeni cut Ade's thumb and her thumb, and they joined their bleeding thumbs together and took their oath. Now I am sure that you will come back to me. Abeni smiled after they took the blood oath. A week after Abeni and Ade took the blood oath in secret, Ade traveled to the city for his education. As Ade had promised, every week he would write a letter and send it to Abeni, narrating how much he loved school and how much he missed her. In return, Abeni would also send a letter to Ade, and they continued like this for months. Since Abeni's father was a farmer, when it was harvest season, Abeni would send a lot of fruits, yam, plantain, fresh palm oil and other foodstuff to Ade. She would also send him the little money she had saved for him. For that whole year, Ade did not return to the village. Since Ade had an uncle who lived in the city, whenever school closed, he would move to his uncle's house and assist him in his shop, and when school resumed, he would return to the hostel where he lived. Back on campus, Ade tried his best to keep his eyes off other women. Because he was afraid of giving his female friends and colleagues the wrong impression, Ade stayed far away from them. The only people he was close to were his male friends. Meanwhile, in Roma village, the guy Ade talked about, Shegun the hunter, had been begging Abeni to give him a chance. Shegun, how many times have I told you that I'm not interested in you? Leave me alone, please! I am tired of your disturbance! Abeni yelled at Shegun that evening. Somehow, Shegun believed that by taking a full antelope he had caught while hunting to Abeni's house, Abeni would soften her mind, but he was wrong again. Abeni, please, just give me the opportunity to show you that I love you. I have been following you around for a long time now, and it's not fair. The girls in this village now make fun of me because of you. Please, Abeni, kindly consider my proposal. I promise you that I will take good care of you, Shegun said. Shegun, please do not implicate me. What language do you want me to speak in before you understand me? Please, take your meat and leave my father's compound. I do not want your love, Abeni said before walking out on him. Abeni, please, come back. Don't leave like that. We haven't concluded our discussion, Shegun said, but Abeni did not respond again. When Shegun stood there for minutes and Abeni did not come out, he carried the dead antelope and left in shame. While Shegun was begging Abeni to consider his proposal, Abeni's father was in the living room and he had overheard all of their conversation. Later that evening, when Abeni was calm, her father called her to his room. Abeni, my daughter, what is the matter with Shegun? What does he want from you? Abeni's father asked. Papa, I don't know. Shegun will not let me rest in this village, and it's very annoying. Whenever he sees me, he must stop me. Am I the only girl in this village? Why can't he find another woman? Abeni said. Calm down, my daughter. I am an elder, and I see everything. But tell me, don't you like Shegun? He's a good boy. He's very hardworking and comes from a decent family. I also know that he loves you. If he didn't, he wouldn't be trying so badly to impress you, Abeni's father said. Papa, how can you ask me such a question? You know my heart belongs to Ade, and I will wait until he returns, Abeni said. And what if he doesn't return to marry you? Abeni's father said. Papa, please do not say that. I know my Ade and I know he will keep his promise. As for Shegun, I am not interested in him and no amount of meat or gifts will make me change my mind, Abeni said. My daughter, Do not take this as if I do not want you to marry the man you love. You know I do, because your happiness is what is most important to me. But this is life, and you can be disappointed at any time. I do not want you to put all your eggs in one basket, so you do not cry in the end. Abeni's father said, Papa, I have heard you, but this is my life, and I can make my own decisions. Even if it takes Ade 50 years to return to me, I will wait for him. Abeni said, I just hope you know what you are doing. I will be here when it happens. Abeni's father said, Now go and make me dinner. Abeni's father said. No one knew, but Abeni had so much confidence in Ade because of the blood oath they took. She also trusted Ade so much and believed he would never do anything to hurt her. On the other hand, in Ade's school, there was a girl in his department who was particularly fond of him. Her name was Esther, and she liked Ade a lot because Ade looked like her late father in a way and reminded her of him. Several times, Esther tried to sit next to Ade in class, but when Ade noticed that she was getting too close, he kept his distance. Ade, why are you always running away from me? Do I smell? Or is it that I'm too ugly and you can't be seen talking to me? Esther asked Ade one day. No, it's not so. It's just that I do not want people to start spreading false rumors about us. And besides, I have a girlfriend already, and I do not want a relationship, Ade said. A relationship? Esther asked in shock and burst into laughter. I never said anything about a relationship, she added. The minute she said that, Ade was very embarrassed, but he managed to hide his emotions. If you do not want a relationship, then why are you always following me around? Ade asked in a confused tone. See, Ade, the only reason I've been trying to get close to you is because you remind me of my late father. And somehow, when I sit next to you, I feel like I'm sitting next to him, Esther said. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I didn't know. I thought you were following me around because you liked me and wanted me to be your boyfriend, Ade said. No, not at all. All I'm asking is that you agreed to be my friend. I also have a boyfriend, so you have nothing to fear. Esther smiled. Okay, that's fine. I apologize for how I treated you. I was completely ignorant, Ade said. Because Esther had asked to be Ade's friend, the two of them became very close as time passed. They would sit next to each other in class, walk to their different lecture locations together, and even sit next to each other at night class. Since Abeni and Ade didn't keep any secrets from each other, Ade told Abeni about his new friend. When Abeni heard about Esther, she was not worried because she trusted Ade so much, and she also knew that Esther had a boyfriend. Abeni would also tell Ade about Segun and his constant disturbance, making their relationship very transparent. Throughout his schooling in the city, Ade only returned home twice to see his parents and his lover. Meanwhile, in the city, Ade's uncle and wife knew about Esther. Since Esther lived in the same city, during the holidays, she would visit Ade and spend time with him and his uncle's family. This continued until the two friends graduated from the university. One day, while Ade's uncle was looking for something in Ade's room, he stumbled upon a letter Ade had written to Abeni but had not sent it yet. Ade, do not tell me you are still in a relationship with that girl you call Abeni, Ade's uncle said to Ade. Uncle, Abeni is the love of my life. She is the only woman I think of every day, Ade bragged mildly. So, it is true that a man can be very educated, yet he is not intelligent, Ade's uncle said in a disappointed tone. I don't understand you, uncle. What do you mean? Ade asked. Ade, what are you still doing with a girl like Abeni when you have someone like Esther? The two of you are educated and smart. What do you want to do with a village girl who cannot offer you anything? Ade's uncle said. No, uncle, you don't understand. I made a promise to Abeni and I must fulfill it. Even if she's not educated, I am educated. And that's enough. Ade said. Listen to me, Ade. You are like a son to me and I love you very much. I do not want you to go back and ruin your life with that village girl. She cannot offer you anything apart from making babies and cooking for you. But with Esther, there are many possibilities you can explore together. The other day, she mentioned something about traveling overseas for her masters. Isn't that someone you would want to be with? The girl is educated, beautiful, visionary. Ade's uncle said. Uncle, I think you have misunderstood us. Esther and I are just friends, and even if I want to marry her, she doesn't see me the way you think. She sees me like her brother and friend. Ade said. Is that what you think? Look, Ade, I am an elder. And what an elder sees while sitting, a child cannot see, even if he climbs the tallest Iroko tree. Esther likes you more than you think. Otherwise, she wouldn't be coming to visit you almost every day, Ade's uncle said. But uncle, I don't want to betray Abeni. I promised her that I would return for her, Ade said. Promises are meant to be broken, my boy. Besides, how are you even sure that your so-called Abeni has not broken her promise to you? How do you know her father has not married her off to someone else? Do you really think any girl will wait for you for 5 years when there are many suitors around? Ade's uncle said. No, sir. My Abeni is not like that. I have known her ever since I was a child. Ade defended Abeni. My dear, one thing you should always know is that things grow and people change. The Abeni you knew when you were leaving Roma village is not the same Abeni you will return to meet. Our people say that the devil you know is better than the angel you do not know. A word is enough for the wise, Ade's uncle said. That night, after Ade had that conversation with his uncle, he could not sleep. He kept thinking about everything his uncle had said to him. Would Abeni really betray me after everything we have been through together? Ade soliloquized. My uncle is right. These girls cannot really be trusted. Besides, why would I leave an educated girl with a bright future for a girl who has nothing to offer apart from sex? He added. Sadly, Ade changed without even discussing anything with Abeni or even sending a letter to her. He stopped writing to Abeni and stopped responding to her letters too. When 2 months passed and Ade did not respond to any of Abeni's letters, Abeni was forced to visit his father's compound. To her greatest surprise, Ade was still in constant communication with his father and had even sent him a letter that week. Are you sure you guys did not fight over anything? Ade's father said after Abeni narrated everything to him. No, Papa, we didn't fight. I'm not even sure if my letters have been getting to him because it's unlike him to stay quiet for so long, Abeni said. You are right. Why don't you go and visit him in the city? Since you guys have not seen yourselves in a long time, I think that would be the best thing to do, Ade's father said. But I do not know his address in the city, Abeni said. Don't worry, I will give you the address. He lives with my younger brother in the city, Ade's father said. Hold on, I will be right back, he added before entering his house. About a minute later, Ade's father returned with a piece of paper and handed it to Abeni. He had written the address on the paper. "Thank you very much, Papa. I will go there tomorrow." Abeni thanked Ade's father and left. The following morning, Abeni left the house very early so she could catch the first bus to the city. Around noon, she arrived in the city and boarded a motorcycle to the address. Unfortunately for Abeni, Ade was not at home, but his uncle was around. "Good afternoon, sir." Abeni greeted Ade's uncle as soon as he opened the door for her. "Good afternoon, dear. Who are you looking for?" Ade's uncle asked. "My name is Abeni, sir, and I'm looking for Ade," Abeni said with a broad smile. "His father told me that he lives here," Abeni added. Immediately Ade's uncle realized he was talking to Abeni, Ade's village lover. His tone and reception changed. "Ade is not around. You can come back another day," Ade's uncle said. "Okay, please, can I wait inside for him? I can wait a few hours before I return to the village," Abeni said innocently. "Does this look like a relaxation spot to you?" Ade's uncle barked. "I told you Ade is not at home and you still want to wait. What exactly are you waiting for? Do you know if he will return today?" he added. I'm sorry, sir. When will he return?" Abeni asked innocently. "I don't know. If I were you, I would go back to the village and not bother waiting for him. I'm even sure Ade does not want to see you," Ade's uncle said. "Why, sir? Did I do anything wrong?" Abeni asked. "Please, I do not have time for this," Ade's uncle said, and then he slammed the door on Abeni's face. After Ade's uncle slammed the door on Abeni's face, Abeni did not know how to react. She just walked away. Outside the compound, Abeni saw a big tree and she sat under it and waited for Ade. After hours of waiting, Abeni spotted Ade walking home with Esther. From the way the two of them held hands, it was obvious they were in a relationship. As soon as Abeni spotted Ade walking home, she ran to him and hugged him. "Abeni?" Ade called her name in a surprised tone. "What are you doing here?" he asked in shock. "My husband! I came to see you. You didn't write to me or respond to my letters for 2 months, so I was very worried about you," Abeni explained. "I don't understand. How did you find me? How did you get the house address?" Ade asked. "Your father gave it to me. He told me to come and see you," Abeni said with a broad smile. "So why didn't you respond to my letters? You weren't like this before," Abeni said. "As you can see, I have been very busy. I had a lot of things to do and didn't have time to write to you," Ade lied. "It doesn't matter anymore. I am here now. So, who is the fine sister?" Abeni turned to Esther, who was still standing beside Ade. "Oh, this is that friend of mine I was telling you about," Ade said. "Oh, really? It's nice to meet you. Ade has told me so much about you." Abeni smiled at Esther. "Abeni, I'm very busy now and I don't have time to keep talking with you," Ade said in an impatient tone. "Shebi, you have seen me now and there's nothing wrong with me. Once I have time, I will respond to your letters," he added. "Do you want me to return to the village? I thought we would spend time together," Abeni said. "Did you tell me you were coming? So you want me to pause all the important things I was supposed to do today and spend time with you? Things do not work like that here," Ade said. "I'm sorry, my love. Just tell me when you'll be free and I'll come back," Abeni said. "Like I said earlier, when I'm free, I will write to you. Until then, I don't know when," Ade said. That's okay. I will tell your father I saw you," Abeni said sadly. Then she watched as Ade and Esther walked into his uncle's compound. Later that day, when Abeni returned to the village, she went straight to her room and stayed there. She was not happy about the way Ade treated her. Abeni, I have been calling you for minutes now, but you didn't respond, Abeni's father said as soon as he entered her room. I'm sorry, Papa. I didn't hear you calling, Abeni said. What is the problem? Are you sick? Abeni's father asked in a concerned tone. No, Papa. I'm fine. Everything is okay, Abeni lied. Abeni, I am your father, and I know you better than anyone else. Now, tell me what's bothering you. Didn't you see Ade in the city? Abeni's father said. I did, Papa, but I'm not happy with how things turned out. I thought Ade would be happy to see me and want to spend time with me, but he wasn't. He claimed he had something important to do with that his friend, Abeni said. What friend? Abeni's father asked. Oh, he has a friend he told me about a long time ago. I met the girl today and she's very beautiful, Abeni said innocently. You met Ade with another woman? Abeni's father asked. Papa, it's not what you think. They are just friends, Abeni said. Abeni, why are you so foolish? You met your boyfriend with another woman, a beautiful woman at that, and you say they are just friends? Abeni's father said. Papa, please don't even go there. Why are you always trying to poison my mind about Ade? I have told you several times that I trust Ade and that he will never do anything to hurt me. Ade loves me, Abeni said. I pray that God delivers you from your stupidity before it's too late and that your love for Ade does not ruin your life. Do you think you are getting any younger? Women younger than you are getting married in this village every day. But you are here waiting for a man who has forgotten about you, Abeni's father said. After Abeni's father left her room, Abeni burst into tears because she was feeling overwhelmed. In the days that followed, Abeni looked forward to receiving a letter from Ade, but she didn't get anything. To be sure that the mailman had not forgotten about her, Abeni would go to him to ask if Ade had sent a letter, but the response was always the same. After another month of waiting for Ade's letter, Abeni traveled to the city again to see Ade. That day, she was lucky to find Ade at home. Ade, if I said or did anything to offend you, please tell me so I can apologize, Abeni said in a teary voice as soon as she saw Ade. Abeni, I do not appreciate you coming to my uncle's house without my permission, Ade said. But how would I have gotten your permission? I wrote a lot of letters to you but didn't get any response, Abeni said. Ade, are you sure everything is fine between us? No matter how busy you are, you should at least make time for the people you love, Abeni said in a teary voice. Abeni, please, I do not have time for all your crocodile tears. How do you want me to explain that I have been busy, eh? Ade yelled. Ade, have you forgotten the promise you made to me? You promised that you would return and get married to me. Why are you now treating me like a stranger? Abeni said. What do you mean, Abeni? Did I tell you that I won't come back? See, the village is not like the city. In the village, one can survive without working hard because your family members can easily support you. But in the city, you must work hard, Ade said. So, does that mean you still love me? Abeni asked. Of course, Abeni. I still love you, Ade lied. I just need you to be patient with me, Ade said. While Abeni was talking with Ade outside his uncle's house, she had no idea that Esther, Ade's friend, was inside. Won't you invite me inside? Abeni asked after she settled with Ade. I would really love to, but I can't do that. My uncle doesn't like strangers in his house, and if he returns and sees you, he might kick me out for disobeying him. Ade lied. I understand. I met him the other day and he is very strict. If I leave now and return to the village, promise me that you will write to me. I have been reading your old letters because I miss you. Abeni said, I promise you, my dear, I will write to you. Please, do not come back to the city unless I tell you to. Ade said, Okay, my regards to that your beautiful friend, Abeni said, and then she left. Immediately after Abeni left the compound, Ade heaved a sigh of relief and entered the house. How long will we continue to play hide and seek with your village girlfriend? Esther asked angrily. My love, I'm sorry for keeping you waiting. Please, do not worry about Abeni. I will get rid of her when the time is right, Ade said. When will that be? Did you see the way she was touching you? Esther growled. Babe, please calm down. You know I am not doing anything with Abeni anymore. I'm just trying to buy us some time until we get married. Once we are married, Abeni will leave me alone, Ade said. But isn't it better if you tell her instead of lying to her? The poor girl loves you and she thinks you still love her too, Esther said. Our love was in the past. We are in the future now, Ade said. Honestly, I still insist that you tell her so both of you can separate in a good way. Remember, you took a blood oath with her. You should handle this maturely rather than break her heart, Esther said. My dear, you worry too much. Whatever Abeni sees, she will take it like that. As for the blood oath, I told you not to worry about it. It was just a silly thing we did back then, and I'm sure Abeni has forgotten about it, Ade said. If you say so, Esther said. That evening, when Abeni returned to the village, she was in a good mood. She was happy she had hugged Ade, who had assured her that he would return to marry her. 4 days after Abeni returned from visiting Ade in the city, a popular and rich palm wine tapper in their village went to ask for her hand in marriage. Before the palm wine tapper officially went to see Abeni's father, he had been trying to woo Abeni, but she proved stubborn. That afternoon, Abeni was resting when her father called her to the living room where the guests were seated. The moment Abeni saw the palm wine tapper, some of his family members and the gifts he had brought with him, she frowned. Abeni, this young man here is asking for your hand in marriage. What do you say? Abeni's father said excitedly. Papa, you already know what my answer is, Abeni said. And what's that? Abeni's father growled. Papa, I cannot and will not marry anyone other than Ade. You know this already. Why do you keep doing this? Abeni yelled. My in-laws, please, can you give me a minute to talk with her privately? Abeni's father said to the palm wine tapper and his family, who were seated in his living room, and they nodded. With a forced smile, Abeni's father dragged Abeni into a room adjacent to the living room. Abeni, what is the meaning of this rubbish? What did I do to offend God that He sent me a child like you? Abeni's father said. Papa, I have said my own. I will not marry Dami the palm wine tapper. My Ade will come back to me soon. I know it, Abeni said. Abeni, I hope you realize your mistake before it's too late. Apart from being family friends with Ade's father, Ade has never told me that he's interested in you. He hasn't even come to see me officially. Abeni's father said, Why can't you marry the men you have seen? A bird at hand is better than 2 birds in the bush, Abeni's father said. Papa, I am not interested. If you like, collect the gifts from Dami and his family. When they demand for their bride, you will manufacture a bride for them because it cannot be me, Abeni said, and then she walked out on her father. Abeni, come back here. Where do you think you are going to? Abeni's father yelled, but Abeni did not answer him. Why does this girl keep disgracing me? When it happens, do not say I didn't warn you. Abeni's father soliloquized. What do I tell my visitors now? He added, my in-laws, I'm sorry, but Abeni is still proving stubborn. Please, just give me some time to talk to her. Once she agrees, I will let you know. Abeni's father said to Dami, the palm wine tapper, and his family members. Without saying a word to Abeni's father, the palm wine tapper ordered his family members to pack all the gifts they had brought, and they exited the house angrily. This girl will not be the end of me, Abeni's father soliloquized after his visitors left. Just like the first time, after Abeni returned from visiting Ade in the city, she waited patiently for his letter, but nothing came. Unlike before when Abeni did not receive any letter from Ade, she wasn't worried. She believed Ade would eventually write to her as promised, but she was in for a big surprise. 2 weeks after the visit, Abeni was washing her father's clothes in her house when one of her friends ran to her house screaming her name. Abeni! Abeni! Oh! Abeni's friend screamed as she got closer to Abeni's house. Titi, what is it? Hope no problem, Abeni said. Abeni, there is a big problem. In fact, there is fire on the mountain, Titi said. What do you mean? Is someone dead? Abeni said. My sister, no one died, but this is worse. What my ears heard, my mouth cannot say it, Titi said. Titi, stop all this now. You are really making me scared. What's the problem? Abeni said in a panic. It's Ade. Your Ade. He is back in the village with his wife, Titi said. My Ade? With a wife? No, that's not possible. Are you sure of what you said? Abeni said. Abeni, I am just coming from Papa Ade's compound. When I heard the news, I had to confirm it before coming to you. The same Ade you have been carrying on your head is married, Titi said. Immediately Titi said that, Abeni ran to Papa Ade's compound, which was a few houses away from her father's house. Upon arriving at Papa Ade's compound, Abeni was shocked to see Ade and Esther, the same girl he claimed was his friend. They were even wearing matching outfits and they sat next to each other, holding hands. Ade, are the rumors I'm hearing true? Abeni said in a teary voice. I don't know about the rumors you have heard, but I know that it is rude to barge into someone's house without knocking, Ade yelled. Ade, what did I ever do to you to deserve this kind of betrayal? You assured me that Esther was just your friend. Why did you lie to me? Abeni said in a teary voice. Tears were already rolling down her cheeks and she could not control her emotions at that moment. Abeni, now that you have seen that I chose Esther and not you, please leave me alone. I actually thought that you were intelligent and would have figured that I didn't want you again, Ade said. As soon as Ade said that, Abeni fell to her knees and began to beg him. Ademi, please do not do this to me. The villagers will mock me. All the suitors I turned down will mock me. People will laugh at me. Abeni cried. If I have offended you in any way, please forgive me. Just do not do this to me, she begged. Abeni, as you can see, we were doing something here before you came. So if you have finished what you were saying, please leave, Ade said. Ade, Okomi, please, let's talk about this. I waited for you for 6 years. Do you want to throw that away? What of the promise you made to me under the Udara tree? We bound it with blood. Abeni cried.
Abeni, I'm sure you are old enough to know that not all promises are kept. I have seen the woman I want to marry, and she's sitting next to me. Did you really think I would leave all the educated women out there to marry a village champion like you?
Ade said. Ade! But you promised me that you would never leave me. Abeni cried. By this time, Abeni's eyes had turned red from crying and her nose was running.
Abeni, I have said everything I wanted to say. Please leave. Your presence is irritating me.
Ade yelled. Abeni, please let's go. You cannot beg a man like this, especially a man like Ade. Titi said as she tried to get Abeni to stand up. Thankfully, Titi was able to take Abeni back to her father's house, and she stayed with her until her father returned.
Abeni, is it true that Ade returned to this village with another woman?
Abeni's father asked when he saw Abeni crying. Yes, Papa. Ade has disgraced me. I feel like killing myself. Abeni said.
You want to kill yourself? Go ahead now, since you are stupid. When I was warning you about that boy, did you listen to me? No, you didn't. You claimed you trusted him. Now see what has happened.
Abeni's father said.
You are lucky. Dami, the palm wine tapper, is still interested in you. Just marry him and cover your shame.
Abeni's father said. Papa, is that all you can say? Abeni asked in shock.
Yes. What else do you want me to say? I advised you like a father, but you didn't listen to me.
Papa, you think I'm joking? If I do not marry Ade, then no one else can have him. We took a blood oath, and he must fulfill all his promises to me. Abeni said.
Listen to the rubbish you are spewing. The young man has brought home his wife, and you are still here giving yourself false hope.
Abeni's father said.
Anyway, I'll leave you to cry your eyes out. Maybe if you cry enough, you will return to your right senses.
Abeni's father said before leaving. Immediately after her father left, Abeni took a knife from her kitchen and ran to the Udara tree where she took the blood oath with Ade. Then she stripped and began to cry and speak. Ade, you were my first and only love, but you have decided to turn me into a laughing stock. We took a blood oath here years ago, and I have returned to where it all started. Today, I will end our lives. Since we are bound together by blood, whatever is my fate becomes your fate. Abeni said, and then she stabbed herself in the stomach and fell to the ground. Immediately Abeni stabbed herself. Ade began to throw up blood in his father's house, and before his father and wife could take him to the hospital, he died. 2 days after Abeni killed herself, some farmers found her body and they took her to her father. The minute Abeni's father saw his daughter's lifeless body, he cried bitterly and wished he hadn't been so hard on her that evening.
Abeni, my daughter.
Knowing what had happened, the villagers buried Abeni and Ade next to each other so they could be together in their afterlife. As for Esther, Ade's wife, she returned as a widow to the city, and she remarried a year after Ade died mysteriously. The end. Did you enjoy this story? Tell us your favorite parts in the comment section below. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Also, do not forget to follow our channel on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you.